Hello everyone, it's Dove again. So I am back out here with another update in my backyard, which needs mowed very badly. Hopefully my son will come out here and do that later on today. But a couple weeks ago I started deconstructing my garden area, and I had to start really early because of all the greenery that was growing in between the beds. I had made a pathway with pavers, and there was actually 48 of these pavers. They're like 12 by 12, and I had planted ground cover, in between them and everything. So there was ground cover, there was crabgrass, there was violets, creeping Jenny, creeping Charlie, whatever you want to call it, everything. And just very, very quickly it grows up around those stepping stones. So a couple weeks ago I came out here with my garden fork, and each and every one of those I had to dig it up out and then pry it up, pull it out and clean it off, and then walk each one of them all the way to the back of here, to the back of my garage, because my ex wanted to keep them. And so I had to find a place to put them out of the way. These are the cement blocks that I already had here because we had rain barrels on each corner of the garage, and so I already had those there. So I just set them on top of there, and these were super heavy. I think all these combined was probably about 700 pounds, and I carried them all back here by myself, one by one, in a day and a half, I think. So that kind of tore up my elbow. I was already having problems with my right elbow for some reason. I don't know why, but it feels like I'm getting tendonitis. And then when I did all that, I really tore up my elbow. But I got that done. I didn't put the bricks here, or the pavers on these bricks, because there's more cement bricks here. But this is all the mint that I already had growing here. And at the time that I moved those a couple weeks ago, it was barely growing. But I knew that it was going to get like this, and I didn't want the pavers to kill out all the mint, because I like to leave that here for the bees and everything. But I got all that done, then I rested for a couple days, and then this bed had already started falling apart. So I had already taken some of the wood and moved it back here. Actually, I've probably got to burn all this, because when I was taking apart the beds, I was going to take this stuff to the road, but when I flipped it over, there are thousands of ants under there, and I just didn't want to mess with it. So I'm probably going to have to start another fire and burn all that. I got all that burnt down, and I've already got more new twigs to get rid of. But anyways, I only got about half the wood. These are 4x8 beds, and these are 2x6 cedar planks, and we had them 3 high, so that's 1, 2, and then the third one was here. And you can see, hopefully you can see how rotted out that is. I mean, it's just horrible. Just horrible. This one was the worst one, and so it's only got one more rung, one more course of wood, and it's so rotted out that it's just barely there. But we had held these together right there with these square head screws, and so when I'm taking them apart, I'm trying to just take them out, but a lot of times they're rotting so bad that the board will just come off, and then I have to take a hammer and go to the back side of it and pound the screw down a little bit, and then I can draw it out with the drill, because it was just sitting in there kind of spinning. I don't know if you can tell or not, but because it's probably so bright, but there are a ton of ants. I mean, I've got several colonies of ants. I even unburied some here, but you can kind of see how it's already starting to grow back up. But if I had waited too long, I wouldn't have been able to get the pavers out, because the plants would have been basically trapping them in there. So I got all those out. I didn't get the center one because this was the biggest one. The other ones were like 12 by 12, but I couldn't lift that one by myself. But I'm gonna have to come in here and be real on it, because we still don't have the ability to mow through here. And now that it's bare, everything and anything's gonna come up. And this is a maple tree, a sapling. Can you see the whirlybird part of it? And there are tons and tons of maple trees. And believe me, they will take root. And they grow out in the yard all the time, but we're constantly mowing it. So for right now, I'm just gonna have to come and individually pick them out. But look at that post. Look at that. It doesn't even hardly look like a piece of wood anymore. And then that's the bottom one. And the plants, the soil line, the brick line came up all the way to there. So obviously that's why it started rotting so fast, because it was basically just right on the dirt. And, you know, I don't know. I thought cedar would last longer, but it's okay. So now that my arm isn't freaking out as bad, now I have to come through and disassembling the rest of this wood. So a couple weeks ago there was probably 10 of these 2x6s. I had to haul them all the way out to the front for the trash to take it out. So that's what I have to finish doing. And I didn't want to start doing that because my ex-husband had put this metal like flashing, like landscaping stuff. It was, you know, real thin but metal, and he put it all along the outside, and so it was just one big area. And so that was the easy part. He came out here with a pair of pliers and he, you know, just grabbed one of the ends of it and just pulled it up, and it came right up. I'm like, well, that was easy. You know, that was definitely the easy part. The rest of this is the hard part. But now that that metal flashing is gone out of the ground, now I can start taking the rest of the wood apart. And the hardest part is going to be getting rid of that dirt, because I think I'm gonna have to, you know, take it shovel by shovel and just go to the areas where there's low spots and holes and stuff, and I'm just gonna have to basically displace all of that dirt throughout the yard, because, you know, I don't have $500 to rent a bobcat or whatever I would need to bring that in here and level it all out. I don't have that kind of money. So, and if I don't get to it, you know, I guess my ex-husband's gonna have to get to it when I'm gone. I don't know, but I felt responsible for tearing it down and making it back to the way it was when we first bought the house, because I'm the one who wanted the garden. You know, I was very, very sick at the time, and I knew I needed to keep my mind busy and be active and not concentrate on the bad stuff. And so he helped me build all this, plus the ones that were over here, and I grew in them for at least 10 years before they started falling apart. And then, you know, I just decided that I couldn't grow anymore. If I was going to become nomadic, I had to stop concentrating on that. So I kind of feel a sense of responsibility to take it all down, because, you know, that's the polite thing to do, I suppose. And take you inside. Not a lot going on in here, because after the torturous week I had out in the garden, I got sick. My son got a cold or a flu or something, and then I caught it. And so I've been kind of in recovery mode. Sorry, I'm wiping the sweat off of myself. I was recovering and sick for a week and a half. So this is what I'm doing in here. These are the bins that I bought for my clothing, and there are 6 of them, 6 of these gray ones, and then I have 2 of the smaller beige colored ones. And over the winter, what I did was I filled these all with my summer clothes, and then I just put them out in my rig. So all winter long, these bins have been outside in my car, but they had my summer clothes in them. Now that it's coming into summer, I needed to get those out, and it's taken me actually a couple days, several hours to figure out how to do this, because I have a very limited amount of space, and I want to have a storage unit, and I'm going to have a storage unit, and I can do seasonal, like if it's summertime, I can just have the winter clothes in my storage unit. That is the ideal. But for right now, everything is so uncertain. I don't know where I'm going to have my storage unit. I don't know how I'm going to afford a storage unit at this point. And I was getting really worried that I might actually need to have all of my clothes with me at all times, because I don't want to be stuck somewhere and need my winter clothes and not have them, or vice versa. So what I did was brought all these bins back in here. 2 of them are left out in the rig because they're not for clothing, they're for other things. And so I put all of my winter clothes into these, and now these are going to go out in my rig while I'm here, and they'll just sit there, quietly doing nothing. And then these are my summer clothes, and I actually had all my winter clothes in this bin, basically just that one, and that's what I was living out of all winter. And but because I wanted to make sure that I would have room for all of my clothes, I went ahead and rearranged them, kind of acting like I was already packing up to go. And so right here are my summer clothes that I took out of those bins, and I'll leave these in here while I'm in here. But basically what I'm going to do is, there's that space right above my cabinetry behind my bed where these live in the wooden cabinets. There's a space about that tall in the center, and it does taper down. But right now, there's my pop-up tent and my pop-up shower tent. That's the only thing that's up there. And they slide around, because that area, it's like 48 by 56 or something like that. So it's actually a really big area. And I didn't really know what I was going to put up there besides those 2 tents. But now I know what I'm going to put up there, because this will enable me to have basically all of my clothes with me. And this is amazing that I was able to pare down my clothing to this. It probably took me a year or more to, very slowly and methodically go through my clothes and decide exactly what I had to have, and what I don't have to have. If you haven't worn it in a year, you probably don't need it, kind of a thing. So, yeah. So while my winter clothes, like if when I'm living in my rig and it's winter, that'll be the configuration. And all these packing cubes, those will slide in on top of that shelving unit, and that's just where my storage will be for my clothes. And then when it's summertime, all this stuff will go into the packing cubes, and I'll swap rolls, and then the winter stuff will go up into that slot on top of my shelving unit. So I think that's the plan. I'm not sure. I'm getting really freaked out about storage space for my business. I mean, really freaked out, because I don't feel like I have enough room. And at this point, I'm stuck, because my original plan was just to move the cargo box over on the passenger side, and then line up those 3 ammo boxes on my roof and somehow tie them down. If I do that, I'm going to have to buy extra crossbars that go from passenger to driver's side, and then I'm going to have to buy all sorts of bungee straps and locks, and almost every lock I can find, because I'll have to lock these. almost every single lock I can find, people complain that they rust when they're outside, or, you know, they're easily picked open. So I'm really unsure about how to even transport my new business. And then I thought, you know, maybe a cargo box, one of those swing away cargo box things, that would probably work. And then I could probably put those in there, and then I would also have room for my packing material, because as it is, if I only utilize the top, my roof, I just have room for those boxes. Where am I going to put all those packing envelopes? If I'm working from the road and I have to ship out engraved stuff to people, where am I going to put that? So I'm really concerned, and I don't know, it's like one of the things that's gonna, it's a huge hang up for me right now, because a swing away thing, even if I bought all the different parts, the swing away part, plus the cargo rack part, plus all the locks and the tie downs and everything, that's gonna come up to almost $1,000, which is just as much as one of those, I think it's stowaway, which is, it's already got the box, it's on a swing away, it's $1,000 or $1,100 or something like that. So either way, it's going to be another $1,000 that I don't have. I just don't have it. My credit card is totally maxed out, and right now I actually don't even have room to buy, or money to buy, the crossbars. If I want to buy crossbars and all that, that's going to be $350 with all the locks and everything, because I can't just shove them up there. And you know, as I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if I want those to be exposed, because if I have to take those into a craft show or anything, those are going to be riding on my roof. They are going to be nasty, dirty. They're going to be dirty all the time. They're going to get sun faded. They're going to look like crap. And that's just the reality of it. So I don't know what's going on with that, guys. So I'm kind of still in limbo. I wish I could say, yeah, hey, I'm leaving this summer and everything's great and everything's good, but, you know, in reality, I've got this house that I've got to help get back into some kind of normalcy or whatever. I'm still here with my son. I'm not really ready to leave my son yet. You know, I'm sure my ex-husband wants me to leave, but even at that, you know, I'm his little maid at this point. I work for the roof over my head. I don't just sit here and eat bonbons. I actually do work in the house and everything, so. But I guess that's it, and I will talk to you again in another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Bye.